that's what happens to zombies. In this video, we go through the latest zombie-themed diorama making, and related to that, we look at some Masterbox Tamiya miniature painting. A little bit of Bronco model stream motorcycle making, which our zombie hunter will drive. And I show you a little bit how I weathered a jerrycan from Tamiya military set. And finally, we look at how I finished that diorama base. I'll put a link to the video at the end of the video, where we go through making and weathering of this diorama base in its entirety. It may have few good tips of pigmenting, so I recommend to watch it. This is how it starts, removing the parts. This Masterbox kit has 4 zombies and a female zombie hunter. The kit does not include a motorcycle. Masterbox recommends certain motorcycles, and even though my chosen Triumph motorcycle was not among their recommendation, it works very well. I admit, however, that I had to make a small cut to the hand of the zombie hunter, holding the throttle, because the hand was not quite in the right line with the handle. So I had to make a small correction to the figure. The box did not come with any painting instructions. I don't know if it was left out or if it wasn't supposed to come. But the back cover has pretty good color pictures of the zombies, and in this case creativity is important. I use Rebel enamel paints for painting. They leave slightly gloss surface, so I recommend that you use matte paints. But weathering, you can get rid of that glossiness. Since I'm not an expert in figure painting, I try to keep things as simple as possible. So in terms of colors, I pretty much copied the colors that the Masterbox makers had chosen for the zombies. In skin color I used some creativity. Masterbox designers has put zombies a fairly natural human skin tones, but they are living dead, so their skin should be a bit grayer. So that's why the skin and hair parts were primed with dark grey paint and then dry brushed with lighter grey to give it some depth. I got the final skin color by dry brushing Rebel's natural skin color paint on the character's surface, and it turned out pretty good. About the eyes, I could say that when you paint them, living people don't necessarily need to paint the whites, because they look a bit google when you poke black dots on them. But with zombies it's the opposite, because the eyeballs have turned around and only the whites are visible. So my recommendation is that you paint the white eyeballs for zombies. I made the blood splashes on the zombies' faces and hands with dark red paint and used a very fine brush for that. But for the zombies' clothes, I made the splashes with dark red weathering wash just by dabbing cotton swabs on the surface of the zombies' clothes. Those color splashes are good to keep fairly translucent, because that's what they usually are on clothes. On other hand, clothes can have very strong red color, but who knows. I did it this way and I think it looked very good, for a beginner of course. There is not much else to say about the figures, except that they are very high quality. They have very detailed features and very skilled painter can make them look very realistic. Well, let's take a look at the Bronco model's Triumph motorcycle kit, which was by the way awesome to assemble. This kit was not among those motorcycle models that Masterbox recommends, but this one also fit under the zombie hunter very well, except for the small hand cut that I had to make. In this box, which by the way was quite cheap, came with 2 motorcycles, 3 pieces of MP characters and a weapon set. So a great value for the money, and there is still some modeling left for the future. I kept this relatively simple to assemble, and installing the photo etched parts did not cause much headache, even though I installed them for the first time. The etched parts included spoke wheels, chain, rear brake rod, rear racks for jerrycans, and places for front and rear license plates. And now, as I tell this story, I remember that I forgot to put the decals in place, of course. After I had assembled the whole bike, at the very end I painted it several times with Rebel's olive drab color, and I had to thin the paint quite a lot so that it came out of the spray. After that I painted the exhaust pipe with metal color, glued the accessories, whatever zombie hunter needs, on the bike, then I gave it a wash treatment with Vallejo's wash color for green surfaces. It brings out the features nicely. Finally I finished the exhaust pipe with AK's exhaust pipe wash, And by the way, I will put each jar and pot in the description field where you can spy on what the hell I put on the bike. Let's say finally that for some reason I liked this bike model. Maybe its simplicity impressed me, who knows. But I warmly recommend trying to assemble the kit. Next I'll give you some tips on how to make a rusty barrel and jerry can. In case 2, the key is simplicity. You should choose a matte color, enamel or acrylic, it doesn't really matter. I mixed reddish color from carmine red and reddish brown, which roughly corresponds to the red of the ship's bottom. And the white is just white. The same red for the jerry cans, although I could have used some imagination with the colors. To create the rust effect, I used Vallejo's ready-made rust effect and just plain water as an additive. And the idea for controlled application of the rust effect is as follows. Dip the tip of the brush in the rust effect and splash it on the target, so that small drops appear on the surface of the target and it does not cover completely once. This way you can gradually increase the amount of rust effect. I recommend that you immediately dip the brush in the water after adding the rust effect and start spreading the rust on the surface of the target as you like. And here's the final rusty jerry can. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? At the very end there should be a link to video where I explain how I made the base and give some tips on pigmentation. But I wanted to show a few things that I did at the end, such as adding the sand to give some texture to the motorcycle tracks and the zombies' footprints. This happened very simply by spreading ordinary glue on the diorama surface and sprinkling sand on top of it. And before the glue dried, I pressed the tire and footprints into sand and glue mixture. After that I added remaining missing items from Tamiya's military sets, and almost as the last thing I pigmented the characters with rusty ground and natural sienna pigments, so that they wouldn't look too fresh from the back. And then, as the very last thing, I added some dryland vegetation, such as these also called rusty ground bushes. And hey, there it is, ready for my first zombie diorama. Thank you very much for watching. Alright, that was today's tutorial. I hope you liked this video and it was useful to you. If you like it, give a thumbs up, if not, thumbs down. And if you want to see more interesting videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. My name is Ville and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.